Have you ever wondered how the United States came to be? Let's take a step back in time, back to the late 15th century. The first Europeans, led by Christopher Columbus, embarked on a voyage of discovery, crossing the vast Atlantic Ocean, and stumbled upon what we now know as the Americas. This marked a new chapter in human history, setting the stage for the birth of a nation that would eventually become a global powerhouse. Fast forward to the 17th and 18th centuries. The Americas became a melting pot of cultures, with settlers pouring in from various parts of Europe. However, discontent began to simmer beneath the surface. These settlers, now identifying themselves as Americans, chafed under the rule of the British Crown. They yearned for freedom, for the right to govern themselves. This yearning ignited the spark of the Revolutionary War in the late 18th century. It was a grueling struggle, a David versus Goliath battle, where the underdog Americans took on the might of the British Empire. The war was fraught with challenges, but the Americans were fueled by an indomitable spirit of independence. The Revolutionary War culminated in a triumphant victory for the Americans. The British were ousted, and the United States of America was born. A nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, stood proudly on the world stage. The Founding Fathers then embarked on a monumental task, the drafting of the Constitution. This document, a beacon of democracy and rule of law, laid the foundation for the United States governance. It established the principles of federalism, separation of powers, and safeguarded the rights of its citizens. The Constitution became and remains the bedrock of American society, shaping its trajectory for centuries to come. Thus began the journey of the United States, a nation born out of a desire for freedom and self-governance. It's a journey that's still continuing, a journey that has seen the United States play a pivotal role in shaping the course of global history. From its inception, the United States has been a force to be reckoned with. But how did it become a global military superpower? The answer lies in the pages of history, where we see the growth of the US military over time. In the crucible of the Civil War, the nation's military might was tested and strengthened, setting the stage for future conflicts. The world wars of the 20th century saw the United States emerge as a dominant force, its military power unmatched. The Cold War further showcased the strategic capabilities of the US military as it navigated a tense global landscape. But it's not just about firepower. The US military has played a key role in shaping international relations. From forging alliances to maintaining peace, its influence has reached far beyond its borders. The US military, with its power and reach, has left an indelible mark on the world stage. The United States doesn't exist in a vacuum. Its relationships with other nations have shaped its history and future. But how? Let's start with the Monroe Doctrine. Back in the early 19th century, President James Monroe proclaimed a policy that would come to define U.S. international relations for centuries to come. He declared that the Western Hemisphere was off-limits to European colonization or intervention. This bold stance marked the U.S. as a dominant power in the Americas and a protector of its neighbors, influencing the dynamics of the entire region. Fast forward to the aftermath of the Second World War, and we find the Marshall Plan. Named after then Secretary of State George Marshall, this was an ambitious program to rebuild war-torn Europe. By offering financial and technical assistance, the U.S. aimed not just to reconstruct, but to create strong democratic allies and stimulate global economic growth. The Marshall Plan was a masterstroke in soft power, demonstrating how foreign aid could serve national interests. In the modern era, U.S. diplomacy continues to shape the world. The U.S. maintains diplomatic relations with nearly every country on Earth, and American foreign policy decisions reverberate around the globe. From peace negotiations in the Middle East to climate change agreements, the U.S. plays a pivotal role. Moreover, international institutions like the United Nations, World Bank, and International Monetary Fund are heavily influenced by U.S. involvement and leadership. But it's not just about politics. U.S. international relations also have a profound impact on global economics. Trade agreements, tariffs, and economic sanctions can make or break economies, influence commodity prices, and shape the global marketplace. So let's circle back to our original question. How have U.S. international relations shaped its history and future? The answer lies in the constant interplay of politics, economics, and diplomacy, with the U.S. often at the helm, steering the course of global events. The U.S.'s international relations have not only shaped the nation's path, but have also played a significant role in global affairs. Money makes the world go round, and the U.S. dollar is a prime example. But what gives the dollar its power? The U.S. dollar, born out of the Coinage Act of 1792, has come a long way from its silver and gold coin origins. It has weathered economic storms, gold rushes, and even wars. Today, it stands as the world's primary reserve currency, held by central banks around the globe. The dollar's dominance is not just a matter of historical accident, it's a reflection of the strength and stability of the U.S. economy. When the world economy trembles, investors seek the safe haven of the dollar. This demand keeps its value strong, influencing global markets from Tokyo to London. In a world interconnected by trade and finance, the U.S. dollar is more than just a currency. It's a barometer of global economic health. The U.S. dollar, a symbol of the nation's economic prowess, continues to hold sway over global markets. The United States, a nation of diverse landscapes and people, has a history as varied as its inhabitants. We've journeyed through the birth of a nation, witnessed the founding fathers' vision materialize into a sovereign state, and admired the resilience that propelled the United States from 13 colonies to 50 vibrant states. We explored the might of the U.S. military, an institution that grew from modest beginnings to a force admired and feared across the globe. Our journey then took us into the intricate web of international relations, where the U.S. plays a pivotal role in the global political arena, navigating alliances, conflicts, and diplomacy. And who could forget the almighty dollar? A symbol of economic power, its influence extends far beyond American borders, shaping global commerce and finance. From its humble beginnings to its rise as a global superpower, the United States continues to influence and shape the world as we know it.